your eye on the prize. What does that mean in terms of accomplishing goals, thriving, heading towards success? Well, we're going to talk about what that means, and we're going to talk about what the opposite of keeping your eyes on the prize. You're going to have your eye on failure. Aren't you ready for a big motivational talk right now? Hey everybody, welcome to another Kristen and Charlie chat. I'm laughing at my own intro because keeping your eye on the prize. Look, literally the opposite of that is you're keeping your eye on failure. Now, which side of the fence of the street do you want to be sitting on? It sounds a heck of a lot easier than it is. I know. I'm coming in here with a lot of goofy smiling and laughing because sometimes this is a tough topic. It really, for me, boils down to motivation. Keeping my eye on that finish line, keeping my eye on the goals, keeping my eye on all of the things that I want to accomplish. But oh my goodness, if anybody out there is like me, the motivation is high in the beginning, and then especially if you live where I live in the Philadelphia area where it's the fourth day of rain and gloom, the motivation to eat a cheese Danish is bigger than getting a book out into the world. So let's dive into what the elements are that help us keep our eye on the prize and away from spiraling into the failure and victim mode. Charlie, what do you think about all this?
I like how you said either the prize or failure. And I don't, in our community with families and people that are low vision, blind, and, sometimes we hear so much in the success world, and the prize is something massive, something like the large house, the that prestige and power, and this prize, that's what it's all about. And I don't believe, not my case, and I think what we want to also bring down and say, the prize could be getting into college. It could be sticking it out in high school and working really hard. It could be just learning how to best support your child with a vision impairment, not enable them, but to help coach them and be there as a power and of example as they build their journey to become more independent and live on their own with their disability. And so there's all types of prizes, right? And I think keeping my eye, which is kind of funny, and it isn't about walking around with binoculars looking at something. There it is. This is something that was formed in my mind's eye. This is something like it's very simple. I want to feel better, look better, have more positive energy, and go through my day with more ease. Okay. That's a prize. Like that's a nice goal right there. Well, how do I get to that? Well, if I keep my eye on that, the end result of effortlessly going through my day, not feeling exhausted, tired, not eating the wrong things and all that. So I say, all right, well, I can work towards that because I have the end in mind. I know what I want to feel like because I felt that way before, but I've gotten off track. I've done some things wrong. I stopped exercising. I'm not sleeping enough. I know all the things now that keeping my eye on that will only bring me down. So let me shift and start bringing in that positive, that good feeling that I really want. And no, it's not going to happen overnight because I didn't get to the place of off course overnight. It took time. So now I know that I can keep my eye on that type of feeling, because the prize to me is more of a feeling, more of a proud of myself for stepping into something that is helping move me in the direction of more health, more wellness, more peace of mind,
I love this whole concept of how you began this with it is not prestige and power. And to be perfectly honest, and then all the way down to what you just said about a feeling. And I think that reframe is going to help a lot of people because if they're like me, I'm talking with my hands and I see my pen in my hand as I'm taking notes as you talk, Charlie, so I don't forget. Um, if people out there are like me, I tend to have the giant goal, well, multiple goals, and I even have chart paper in my office where I write them and then stick post-it notes on there of the things I have to do. And I used to get extremely overwhelmed at that giant goal. It was farther away than I wanted to be, and I have been practicing patience for probably 7 good months now to have patience with myself in terms of getting closer to achieving. And what I figured out was, first of all, yes, the feeling that I get, that's what I was really having to tune into, was that feeling of when the goal is accomplished, when I get to that finish line, because that is one of the things that motivates me as opposed to having the project done. It's what is it going to feel like to be able to make that impact with that. But also, when I broke it down into what is the next right step, that's why I have post-it notes all over my chart papers for the goals, so that I can. It's like a little post-it note. What is the next right thing that I have to do instead of what are the 10 to 15 to 20 things that I have going on? And for me, I don't know. There's probably psychology in that I'm not aware of, but for me, that helps me stay motivated. I guess because I like to check things off and like to know that I'm making progress. So when I say, oh, yeah, okay, today I'm going to make, 5 phone calls. We're going to talk about that principle. Send 5 emails. Boom. At the end of the day, throw that post it note away. I did that and I'm ready for the next day for the next right step.
Best part of all that is when you reach up to that post-it note, grab the corner of it and rip it off the wall. That sense of completion and crumbling that up and throwing it away is part of the end in mind, the feeling of accomplishment. And then you get a spurt of dopamine in that moment that launches you. What can I do now? You know, that is what this is. By keeping our eyes on the prize, by keeping our eyes on the feeling, by keeping our eyes on the person I want to become, by keeping my eyes on what I want to do, who I want to be, that type stuff for me was not how I did it. I kept my eyes on my lack, my non-abilities, my only going to high school, not making it in college. I kept my eyes on what I'm not good at, how I don't feel people don't really like. I mean, it was crazy. And I didn't know that because what we think about, what we fantasize about, what we give our attention to, we attract more of that into our life. So I realized that if I stop keeping my eyes on the failure, the what I'm not, what I'll never be, because I'm not willing to do the work. If I can't wake up in the morning and be that person, then obviously I got dealt a bad deal of cards. I mean, I actually believe that. I mean, I thought that nobody worked for things. They all got it given to them. It was easy. And somehow everything is hard for me. And I blamed it on my legal blindness, my low vision, my macular degeneration was why. And, Kristen, that is, as you know, in your research in eye diseases, right? There's a disease in the back of my eye. It's actually a part of the retina, the fovea. It is such a small part of my physical being, but that little disease in my eye controlled my thinking, which it didn't, but I gave it the power to tell me the type of person I was. So I kept my vision impaired eye on the problem. That was my prize, was what I'm not. And that's the shift we want to help and make is it doesn't need to be glorious or something or 15 books or it needs to be what is that prize that's just going to move you in the direction of more peace, more ease, and a better way of living. We were talking about that before we hit record. And that's why, we went into this and you were kind of giggling and it's like, because you and I know the feeling, we know the result of keeping our eye on the prize. And I don't even like that almost. The prize part. I don't know. I win a prize, but this you don't enter your name into a bucket. And if your name's picked, you're the winner. You're the winner if you choose in the morning to do something that helps move you in the direction of more meaning, purpose, and fulfillment of life. That is more important to me than somebody picking my name out of a hat.
I'll tell you what, Charlie, I just had like goosebumps in the back of my head because you just said something that is going to help me reframe things every day. When you're saying about this, the little teeny tiny spot in your fovea, you gave it so much power, and it's such a microscopic little thing. And I started again the past couple of days as I'm preparing for yet another step in my divorce journey that I really wish would just end. I started going back to the opinions of certain people in my life that I always think that I'm past all of that, right? And I realized that the past 3 days, I have been giving this minuscule little blip of my life all the power of my creative mind, my motivated mind was all focusing and all power in that one little minuscule person. And I'm thinking also about the quote that I actually tell people that was life-changing for me, and now I have to clearly remind myself of it, is to don't let people that don't matter. And don't let things that don't matter. Don't give power to this little teeny tiny microscopic thing as opposed to all of the other things you have going on. Oh my goodness, I'm telling you, the back of my head had all these goosebumps in it because I realized that that's exactly what I've been doing, and also realized that I actually realized this 2 weeks ago. I do the Miracle Morning stuff that I started 6 years ago when I was spiraling in my health and my emotional health and physical health. I do the mantras, I do the affirmations, I do my spiritual reading. I have this whole thing. But what I realized a couple weeks ago is there are many days that I need to do that in the afternoon and the evening too. I need to start putting in time for the miracle afternoon and the miracle evening, because sometimes things are just hard and there's so many perceived barriers. I'm not going to say barriers, perceived barriers as I'm trying to keep my eye on the prize. That it does, especially when you're living with vision loss, or you're starting to lose vision, or your child is going through a transition with vision loss. There are times when it just feels like things are piling and piling and piling, and I realize that I need to have these things in place like Miracle Morning and do them more often in the day. And it was so funny. I'll never forget. I was running in the park in the afternoon because my day had been so crazy. I wasn't able to do my typical morning run. And that's when it hit me because I felt so much better. My brain didn't spiral. I had the songs on that I would typically have on in the morning. And I thought, oh my gosh, I think that there are days I have to remind myself to do this more often.
When I started retraining my brain and removing what's not working to what could work or is working and do more of that, I put a morning reminder that a box would pop up and it would say stop, reflect, think, then act. And then at noon it would pop up, and then at 2 p.m. and then at 4 p.m. I started getting mad at the dang box. Yeah, I'll stop and reflect, you dumb box. Stop coming up here. And but it really helped retrain me because we have pathways in our brain, right? So they're DSPs, dendrite spine protuberances. They're the connections that we form. So if we're doing something wrong, like if I'm playing an E note on a guitar wrong and I keep doing it for 30 days, it's wrong. But I go to somebody said, no, that's how you do it. You do it like this, and I do it once or twice the right way, and that's it. I go right back to the wrong way because that's the way my brain knows. That's what I'm trained at doing. And I trained my brain for many years to look at the world as I was, which was broken, which was, blaming, complaining, all the things we do in here. That's why we do it all, because we've been there, and we will do work on these principles to move through and get to the other side of the prize, whatever that prize is to you. So it's repetition. Stop, reflect, think, then act. I didn't stop. I didn't reflect. I didn't think. I reacted, mostly. And it was always about me and negative. So it's amazing. And none of this happens. This is a lifelong journey, right? I mean, I could say I really want to do something. But if I don't really, I'm only interested, right? If I'm interested in fixing a part of my front lawn, because the grass, I just don't like it. And every time I always look at it and I say, I got to do something. Then I come in and I tell my wife, and I might share with my daughter at dinner, I'm going to do something about that front lawn, and I'm going to, clean it up and put some new grass seed in and get it ready. And I'm really interested to get that done. Well, that probably won't get done. If I came in and said, on Saturday, I am going to do what I said. I'm going to rough up the area. I'm going to put some new grass seed, water it in, and for next spring. And now I've moved from I'm interested to do it to I'm committed. And I can keep my eye on the prize, because if that area has ugly looking grass, but all around it is nice. So I know what it's going to look like. And I know when I drive my tractor near it, I'm not going to have that thought, you really got to do something about that. So the prize, the actions of moving, and it cleans up other things and allows for what you said you were robbing yourself of, allows for you to focus on more joy, focus on more creativity, maybe more inspiration, and more peace of mind, because I'm not clouded with all this banter I do, because I'm only interested. I haven't moved to the commitment stage.
Well, I totally just have a new strategy in my life, and I hope that it landed with other people too. Do you have the reminder right in your phone for your stop, reflect?
Think, then act. Well, back when I was doing it, it was they weren't connected. I had a flip phone. Yes.
Oh, you've been doing this a while.
Oh yeah. Hey. Yeah, I started in like 2005 and 6.
Oh wow. I am going to sit when I take my daughter to her college visit. Well, the first thing I'm going to do at the coffee shop when I have got my fun pile of work to do is put the reminders in my phone. Because, it's funny. I started thinking about maybe I can stick something on the fridge so that when I'm in the kitchen in the afternoon, I go back to that routine. And then I'm like, oh, I'm not always in there. And I've been, just kind of letting this float around in my brain. And I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but that's what I'm going to do. Put the reminder in my phone, and I'll report back in a few weeks of how I know it's going to be life changing, because I know it's something that has helped me in the morning. And it is exactly what I need to do in the middle or end of the day. And I just get caught up in everything else that I'm doing. And I legit completely forget. So now, and then I do that spiral thing. Then I'm laying in bed at night thinking, man, I didn't do it again. And it's such a simple thing. Why can't I remember? Well, Kristen's brain needs some tools now at 51 to remember. And whoever invented the reminder on the phone, well, you're a genius. So I'm going to use it, and then I hope others do, and maybe we can get some. I'd love it if folks do that also, or if you have another strategy of keeping your mind, resetting it throughout the day or the week. If you have certain things that you do, put them in the comments of this video so we can share and grow together. And I will certainly keep coming back to this video and adding in the comments how my reminder system is going with retraining or resetting my brain, I should say, and my attitude, and where I'm giving my power to throughout the day. That'll be cool.
Yeah, and I want to remind that if you're an Apple user, an iPhone user, the reminders thing is you just dictate, set up a reminder reoccurring for, and I do that. I actually do it for playing the guitar, for working out, for some meditation, different things. And I'll tell you, they can piss me off. Those suckers keep coming to my screen. Who's the idiot that programmed my phone? Oh, that was me. But I'll tell you, if I tap on it and I get to hit the little circle, and then it fills it for a minute, and then it disappears. It goes down to completed. I like that.
Oh,
Yes. So I
that
can
dopamine.
yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, did I miss anything? So, but it's in the morning. It just, I need it, because left to my own devices, I might stray and go find a bright and shiny object that needs some cleaning or me to investigate it, which has nothing to do with the prize. Has everything to do with what's going to keep me busy.
This has been this is like another one of those chats that I am here to be of service to our community, and what happens? I end up with a new strategy to keep my own eyes on the prize. And like I said, make sure that you drop in the comments here what works for you and what landed well with you in this video, and certainly go and share this with people that you know can benefit from it, and you can have conversation about it with the different strategies of keeping your eyes on the prize. Good stuff today, Charlie.
Thank you. I think so too. I love talking this stuff out. More aha moments and more actions, and it helps keep us on course. That's the name of the game.
Go. And make sure that you hit subscribe and the notifications bell, and you will be notified every time these new videos come. And at some point we have to do, I think that we should do like a poll or a contest, maybe as we get closer to the holidays and people's brains are fried and they just need something fun to do, about the thumbnail images that Charlie creates. I think we should vote on the funniest ones, the best ones, because some of them just crack me up. I love it. I have an idea for this one that I'll share with you after we're done recording. I'm already starting to think of these things now because Charlie's he's had to carry the burden of thinking of thumbnails because my brain just could not do it. So there you go. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.